this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. And thank you for joining us here at our live Zoom Sunday service at Unity Spiritual Center. I am so glad that you have found us as we are discovering new ways of staying connected during this time. It is wonderful to see all of your faces, and I do want you to know that I am keeping all of you in my prayers. And if you are joining us for the first time, I will look forward to hopefully meeting you when this time of sheltering in place is over and we are able to meet again in person at 2690 Ocean Avenue. One thing to note before we get started is we are putting all of you on mute as you join us so that you don't have to worry about background noise. And what that means is that for the responsive readings and songs, we won't hear your voice, but we encourage you to still sing along with us and say the responsive readings in the privacy of your own home. Now, there is going to be an exception to that, and that is when we do our prayer service, our prayer part of the service. If you would like to make a prayer request out loud, just raise your hand, and you can do that by doing it in the chat room or doing it the old-fashioned way in front of your webcam, and then we can call on you and unmute you during that time so that you can share your prayer request with us. But for now, just take a deep breath wherever you are as we go within our inner sanctuary where we are always safe, guided, and at peace. And just take this time to let go of any worries or concerns and connect virtually with all of us in this community and with the God of your understanding. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we celebrate the truth that our God is love, as expressed in Unity's foundation statement, which you're invited to repeat after me at home. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. So I invite you to take another deep breath now. Become comfortable and gently release any cares of the day. The only thing you need to do in this hour is to open yourself up to the love and goodness of the divine as you relax into this sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. For almost 75 years now, we at Unity Spiritual Center have celebrated and honored people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. Seeing through eyes of oneness and acknowledging our oneness, we know that God indwells all people and is expressed through each of us in unique, special, and individual ways. Unity offers positive, practical, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. I'm going to light our worship candle now. And as you look at the flame of this candle, which we light every Sunday, let's see if I can find that best angle for that flame. Remember that. Remember that you too carry a divine flame within, that you are an individualized expression of God, a spark of God, and that God does God's work in the world through the movements of your heart and your hands. Our vision here at Unity Spiritual Center and the opportunity for you and for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, and most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. So let us pause now to hear a musical selection sung by USC's music director, Michael Hatfield.
And we had way fun doing this. I had a little help from the kitten lady. So here we go. We know how to sing this one. Let's do it.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my open wide. Yes, I'm only evil, God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only evil, God. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only evil, God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only evil, God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only evil, God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only evil, God.
Thank you, Michael.
You are welcome.
And so now, as we continue to get comfortable and relax even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word, which will be read by Valerie Hatfield.
To peace in the world. When I learn of conflict in my community or in the world, my response may be frustration, sadness, or anger. If I have those feelings, I remember that I am more than merely human. I am a living expression of God, heir to all that God is. I use my divine facilities of wisdom, understanding, and love to create the abiding peace that is my birthright. Centered in divine peace, I realize that every person is as much an expression of God as I am. As differences dissolve in a way that transcends human understanding, I come to know oneness with all the world's people. I let this realization shape my response to every person in every situation. In an awareness of my oneness with all people, my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to peace in the world. The glory that you have given me, I have given them, so that they may be one as we are one. John 17:22.
Thank you, Valerie. And just for everyone's enjoyment, since you have the stage, do you want to lift up your kitties? We're taking
Whoever's crawling on my leg right now.
Valerie is fostering some kittens, and so nothing kind of lifts the heart than baby animals. So they're so sweet. Thank you, Valerie.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the reading of the daily word and the kitten break. I think we all needed that. So as we continue to get comfortable and relax even more deeply. Oh, I already said that. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. And during this time of shelter in place, I want you to know that you are always welcome to call in, to email or mail in a prayer request. We just want you to know that we are open to you and thinking of you during this time. So knowing that there are prayer requests from members of our community and knowing that there are unwritten prayers in people's hearts, let's just take a moment to hold all of those in our hearts each person represented, that they are enfolded in divine love. And that no matter what's going on, no matter what appearances are, divine order is unfolding in their lives. And now is the time for you to make your prayers audible if you'd like to share your prayer needs with your spiritual family here so that we can support you and stand with you. So if you have a prayer request, again, just hold up the little
What?
hand
You know what it is?
icon.
I'm using my Unity. You don't want that. What do you do? What?
Sounds like we need to mute
What?
somebody. And if you have a prayer request, either use that little icon or again use the webcam that will show your physical hand waving, and we will call on you for your prayer requests. I see Valerie Hatfield has one. Valerie, you want to go ahead?
I would like to have our prayers for Brian Lance, who is recovering from surgery. It went well. And also for Michael's daughter, Tess, who needs to find some inner peace. May she find it.
Thank you, Valerie. And like always, after we hear a prayer request, we'll sing Your Prayer is My Prayer.
Your prayer is my prayer too. We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. For your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too.
Anyone else with a prayer request, just hold your hand up or use the little icon in the
Joy
chat.
Gale, go ahead.
I just want to pray for health and strength for myself and all the people working in the front line, and for all the people who are sad and lonely and feeling low, and just want to send out a lot of love and prayers to all of those people.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Kathy Russell, go ahead.
For my cousin in Connecticut, who's on a ventilator, and mostly for his wife, who can't be with him.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Anyone else? I see Ethel.
Ethel. There you go.
For all those people who are in nursing homes, who are in lockdown right now and cannot see their family and friends. Must be pretty lonely.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And we also have a time in our service. Wait a minute, I saw another prayer request from Lynn. Lynn, did you want to give a prayer request?
Please, I would like to pray for all the people in the world who are struggling with food scarcity, and especially the people in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And it looks like Jody also has a prayer. Jody, let's see if we can unmute you.
There we go.
Thank you. I would like to pray for all the children in the world. Their routines and everything of going to school and seeing their friends and doing their dance classes are all in jumbles right now.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
We also have a time in our service where we share our gratitudes with one another, things that we feel blessed by, whatever it is we're feeling thankful for. This is your time to share that with your spiritual family here too.
I would just like to say that I'm thankful that I'm cooped up with the girl I'm cooped up with.
Anyone else want to share a blessing? Something you feel blessed by? I see Shania.
You're unmuted.
Shania?
I'm extremely grateful for this beautiful service and seeing known faces, very special people. And I just pray that all beings, every being out there, join us in this oneness of the heart of peace. May we all be one in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shania. Wonderful to see you.
You too.
And Randy, did I see your hand up? Okay. All right.
Oh, Shirley.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Shirley.
Thank you. I just wanted to say how grateful I am to have heard from my best friend's brother last night. Their mother has been in ICU for 2 months. And as of yesterday, she was able to speak, and I was able to say some words to her via phone. And I'm just so grateful that she's recovering. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. Anyone else? Anyone else with a blessing that you'd like to share?
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the knowledge that when we ask, it will be given to us. When we seek, we will find. When we knock, the door will be open to us. We give thanks for the feelings of peace and comfort that fill our hearts and minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the world. And we affirm that always and in all ways, no matter what appearances are, we can trust that divine love and divine order is everywhere present. And so it is. Amen.
Before I begin this tune, this is a tune by Karen Drucker and John Hoy. And they took a little edgy approach to it, and I said, I'm going to take it one more notch. So I hope you enjoy it, and it is a chant. And so you can see that that's what it is. And there's not a lot, so we'll have a lot of fun with it, but it's a little different than what I normally do. Yield, hold, yield, hold, yield, hold, well, yield, hold, yield, hold, yield, hold, well, I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and I visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well. Healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well, healed, whole, healed, whole, healed, whole, well, I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and I visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well, healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and I visualize. I am healed, whole, healthy. I am well. I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well, I am well.
Thank you, Michael.
Welcome.
That was wonderful. You know, Michael, we can't see you. Did you turn your video off for a reason?
No, I didn't touch a darn thing, but somebody else took precedence over me, but that's okay as long as you heard it.
Huh. Yeah, we'd like to see you. I wonder if we...
Hit your scroll on the right side or left side where you see the little arrow, and that will show you the next screen. And maybe I bounced to another screen, but I see me.
Huh. Do you see him, Valerie? Yeah, Jerry?
Michael, we just
I
see a
no, I don't
blank
see him.
screen. Your name's up there in the little profile, but there's no visual.
Well, let me stop my video
And-
and start it, and then see if you see me. And then here we go. And now I'm going to put myself back on, and I see me.
No.
And my video is rolling, so maybe the Zoom gods have made a decision about my manner of dress today.
Are you wearing pants, Michael?
I am wearing pants, but I did put on a jacket, and that's unlike me. So,
Well, maybe just put your picture up so at least we can see your face.
okay, here it comes, and then we're gonna fix it some, and that should do it right about there.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah, I just wanted to see you. We want to feel connected with everyone. And so if you didn't realize before, now you know for sure this is live. This is, what did they call it? Live and unplugged. But we're so happy that you're here. And it is a way to be together as if we were in the same room. And I want to start us off with a quotation that I found very interesting. A religious awakening which does not awaken the sleeper to love has aroused him in vain. The writer Jessamine West said that, and I'll repeat it again. A religious awakening which does not awaken the sleeper to love has aroused him in vain. Now, I found that quotation in the margins of the book that I'm using as our theme for this year. The book is called The Fourfold Way, Walking the Paths of the Warrior, Teacher, Healer, and Visionary by cultural anthropologist and my former teacher and mentor, the late Angelus Arian. And I found that quote very interesting in light of the pandemic that we're currently living through. Because one might say the same thing about this time. A pandemic which does not awaken the sleeper to love has aroused him or her in vain. Clearly, we are living in a time that has no precedent, at least in our lifetime. And the big question for all of us is, what are we going to use this time to awaken to? Things may get back to normal at some point. We're assuming they will. It may happen even sooner than we think. But it's never going to be the same, is it? Because we have been changed by this. This is something we will never forget for the rest of our lives. It is something that we will always remember. So what are we going to use this time to awaken to awaken in us? As some of you who've been here throughout the year have heard before, I chose this book as a theme for 2020 because this election year of 2020 seemed like a very good year to be studying the archetypes of the warrior or leader, the healer, the teacher, and the visionary. And I have to say again that so far I have really been amazed at how perfectly this focus is dovetailing with current events. During the last quarter, which was the first quarter of 2020, before the pandemic really took root, we looked at the way of the warrior, the way of the leader, and it had a lot of relevance at that time because of all the political news and the debates that were held during that time. This quarter, we're looking at the way of the healer, because the healer is associated with spring, And again, it seems so relevant for what we're experiencing around the world right now. The healing archetype supports the principle of paying attention to what has heart and meaning. And isn't that what we're all having to pay attention to now? At a time when much, if not most, of the world has literally stopped the busyness of their daily lives to shelter in place in order to stop this dangerous disease, don't we all find ourselves reflecting on what truly has heart and meaning for us? What we love? And as we continue today this examination of the healer, it's very useful to know that according to Angelus, healing involves the principle of reciprocity, the ability to equally give and receive, and the ability to connect. She goes on to say that in order to maintain health and well-being, we need to maintain the balance between giving and receiving, and to recognize when one mode is overextended and the other is underexpressed. And again, I'm just amazed at how perfectly this teaching speaks to what we're experiencing today as we shelter in place. That in order to maintain health, we need to be reciprocal, to give and receive in equal measure, and to connect. And reading the stories, as I'm sure you are too, and seeing the television features on people who are giving, and personally hearing the sewing machine whir each night from behind my daughter's closed doors as she makes masks for people who need them. And seriously, I heard this noise at midnight last night. She's just been this little mask making machine. I know that so many people here and all around us are stepping up to the challenge of giving. And as the Zoom service shows, we are finding new ways of connecting. And all of this is about awakening to love, to our love nature. And there are tools that can help us to do that. There are universal tools that can help us develop ourselves as healers. As Angelus taught, the empowerment tools of the healer include the 4 universal healing salves. And I'll spell that. That's S-A-L-V-E-S. The salves, like an ointment or a balm that you would put on to heal yourself. So those 4 healing salves are storytelling, singing, dancing, and silence. Storytelling, singing, dancing, and silence. She writes, shamanic societies believe that when we stop singing, stop dancing, are no longer enchanted by stories, or become uncomfortable with silence, we experience soul loss, which opens the door to discomfort and disease. The gifted healer restores the soul through each of the healing salves. Now, I was interested when going through this material again to put something together today to see that those 4 healing salves are all things that we do at Unity Spiritual Center during our service. Maybe all of them except dancing, but I do want to point out that I often see our board president, Kathy Russell, dancing in the back when she ushers. Kathy, I see you smiling. You can take a bow for the dancing that you provide to our services, and I know other people do too. We sing, some of us dance, we tell stories. We told stories last week during our Zoom hospitality hour, and we certainly have periods of silence. And what Angelus teaches is that these healing salves reawaken and sustain the divine child within us. I love that phrase, divine child, and return to us the qualities of wonder, hope, and awe. And aren't we in need of all of those things? Wonder, hope, and awe right now. In addition to these 4 healing salves, another tool for developing your inner healer is by cultivating your connection to nature. And now that May has brought more sunny skies and we are seeing things in bloom, being in nature is another wonderful way to nurture that sense of wonder, that sense of hope, and that sense of awe. These are particularly important to the healer. Or I should say, trees are particularly important to the healer. Trees, because they transform through the seasons too. Angeles writes, in many cultures, trees symbolize transformation because of their ability to change form from season to season. The Bantu tribes of Africa have a spring ceremony in which they offer personal traumatic wounds to a tree for healing purposes, with the intent to never speak out loud about that wound again. So in other words, if there is an old wound that you've been carrying, maybe one that's kind of flared up during these times of pandemic when we're under stress, maybe there's an old story or an old wound or an old unforgiveness that you feel is limiting you in some way, then the prescription is to find a tree in nature that feels like a healing tree, a medicine tree, and to symbolically bury that wound at the base of the tree. Healers can best heal by first healing themselves and singing, dancing, telling stories, being in the silence, and connecting with nature are all universal tools for doing that. They are all ways to walk the way of the healer. Now, interestingly, as you know, if you've been around me at all, I seem to be a collector of quotes. I always have been. When I think back about my high school years, when I was Chloe's age, my daughter's age, I used to have a lot of inspirational quotes on my wall, and still do. And one of the ones that I found earlier in the year, and I've had it on my desk since the beginning of the year, and it seems very relevant to what we're experiencing now, is a quote by Don Miguel Ruiz. And he said, "It's only when we change ourselves that we change the world." It's only when we change ourselves that we change the world. I agree with that. And I also think that we could tweak the words a little bit, that with a slight variation of the words, we would come up with a very pertinent phrase about the healer. If we were to say, it's only when we heal ourselves that we heal the world. And that is something that each of us can decide to begin to do or continue to do today. We have begun this morning by singing. We are about to go into the silence. We will tell stories in our hospitality hour, and we can dance in our kitchens. I know that Michael and Valerie Hatfield have made a practice of that. On a beautiful day like today, we can connect with nature. And when we feel ready, whether it's today or another day, we can write an old wound or an old story on a piece of paper and bury it at the base of a medicine tree. We can each heal ourselves. And by making this decision to heal ourselves, may we contribute to the healing of the world. And so it is. Thank you, God. Now, to deepen this process of healing ourselves, let's go into our inner sanctuary for a time of quiet, silence, and meditation. And I invite you, no matter where you are, or what room you're in, to take a moment to lean back in your chair, your bed, your couch, wherever you happen to be. Just feel your back supported, or your whole body if you're on a bed. And take a few slow, deep breaths. Knowing that you are safe and well. And knowing that you are resting in the arms of the divine. And let us continue this period of healing with some reflection questions from Angelus Arian. Questions that will help us to explore places where we might be holding on to old wounds or old stories, or keep us from our full expression of health and well-being. And when Michael sang his song earlier this morning, I was reminded of the fact that the root of the word healing is the same root for the word whole and holy. Healing, wholeness, holiness. Let's tap into that at this time, asking ourselves the following questions. And the first question is, where in my life do I need to soften? What areas of my life am I rigid in? Where or in what situations does my heart feel hardened? Where in my life do I need to soften? And the second question is, where in my life do I need to deepen? Where am I allowing myself to skim across the surface? Where or in what situations do I avoid going deeper? What scares me from going deeper? Where in my life do I need to deepen? And finally, where in my life do I need to open? Where am I closing off my mind or my heart? What parts of my life have I built fences around? Where in my life do I need to open? Just take a few moments now to listen to what your inner guidance is telling you, to what Spirit is listening, to what Spirit is whispering to you, listening to that. And know that by softening, by deepening, by opening, you can bring healing to those places that have kept you stuck. And just breathe deeply. And with each exhale, feel your body expanding and loosening. Feel that stuckness being released. Know as you do this that you are safe and loved, that you are always held by the divine. Know that healing is yours at any time you choose, and that you can choose it again and again and again. Know that you are healthy, that you are whole, that you are holy. Taking another deep breath. Claiming these words as your identity, as your birthright. Healthy, whole, holy. Begin now to come back to waking awareness. Perhaps moving your fingers or your feet. And when you're ready, coming back to our Zoom circle here and opening your eyes. I am scrolling down, looking at all of your faces, feeling connected to you, feeling connected to our community, which, as we like to say, here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. Why don't we unmute everybody, Jerry? Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. That's right. I wanted to hear that.
Ocean
of love.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Hey, Lakshmi, good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Good to see everybody. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. So again, let's say them together. Our vision is centered in God.
God,
We
we co-create a world powerfully
transformed through the growing
movement
of shared
shared spiritual awakening.
Our mission is we are
We are a
creative,
creative,
joy-filled
joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to a healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives
of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity.
Joyously creative and guided by integrity.
And feeling inspired by our vision, mission, and values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced so far today and what we're about to experience as we go into our Zoom community hospitality meeting. Let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. As Michael shares his song, please take that time to write out a check to USC or to log on to our website, unitysf.org, to make a donation online. I want to thank everyone who has done that throughout this time that we've been doing virtual services, and appreciate that you are remembering that our expenses continue throughout this time as we look for ways to stay connected with one another. So again, let us take time to bless our tithes and our love offerings, placing in our hands or next to our hearts as we say our offertory prayer. And it looks like you've been muted again, and that's okay. We can say it in the privacy of our homes. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Everything must change. Nothing stayed the same. Everyone must change. Cause no one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life that you can be sure of. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life that you can be sure of. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun makes the sky. Butterflies do fly, rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry. Everything must change.
Wow, that was beautiful, Michael. Let us do the Pearl of Great Price. That was incredible. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Took me back to 1976. I think George Benson recorded it then, and I love that song, and you did a powerfully beautiful rendition. Thank you so much. So, with our hearts full of that beautiful music and the ability to come together, let us together bless our offering. Spirit of the living God, bless the acts of our hands, our minds, our hearts. May everything offered here at Unity Spiritual Center be a reflection of all that is good within us. Grant us the courage to patiently listen for the stirring of your presence. Enliven our spirits with humor. Fill us with reverence for one another and gratitude for our diversity. May unity, beauty, and truth be the fruit of all we do. And so it is. Amen. So I want to thank you all for joining us here today. You can't hear me, right? Do I see? Yes, great. Because the little yellow box wasn't going around my picture, so I thought, oh no, maybe they can't hear me, but looks like you can. So I do want to tell you that we're going to do our usual Zoom hospitality meeting right after the service. Give us, we'll give you too about 3 minutes to stand up, grab a cup of coffee, and then rejoin us for our Zoom hospitality hour. I want to remind you that I'm doing a live daily word and guided meditation every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. It's the same link as you used to get to the service today. Also using that link, in fact, use that link for everything that we put on. But a very special offering is going to be on Tuesday, given by Helen Yee, who I think is on the call. Let me see if we can unmute her. She'd like to say a little bit more about, yeah, there she is. Yeah, Helen, do you want to say a little bit more about your wonderful self-care workshop that you're offering?
Yes, so this will be this coming Tuesday from 1:30 to 2:30, and my daughter, who's 9 years old, will be assisting. And it will be really focused on self-care practices. We'll be doing things together. So I'll be showing different practices to really help calm anxiety and stress, as well as supporting wellness and immune system from practices of Qigong that might, be very similar in other traditions, but really looking from that, as well as from Chinese medicine, which is my background, and really being able to address any questions people might have regarding COVID-19, immune support, and other things. It will be geared for individuals who are living alone, people who are living with others, as well as with children.
That's so wonderful. I'm so grateful to you, Helen, for wanting to offer your gifts and talents in that way. So please do join us for that, 1:30 to 2:30. Helen is offering this for free. She kindly is asking that you consider making a love donation, a love offering to the church. But this is a gift of her heart to our community, and I'm so grateful for that. I also want to remind you about our book study on Wednesdays. It's going to go through May 20th. We meet again at the same link from 2 to 3:30. We're reading The Second Mountain by David Brooks and finding it incredibly relevant to our time today. And you can join it even if you haven't come to the previous classes. We are keeping this class open to everyone, and we would love to have you join us for any and all of the sessions that you can make. Just saw a question come in about Helen's self-care talk, whether it'll be on Zoom. Yes, it's going to be on Zoom, Jenny. Same link. Just use the same link, 1:30 Tuesday. It's going to go for an hour. And then I am also recording a daily prayer from one of my 2 prayer anthologies. I'm recording that and posting it on Facebook and also Instagram, my personal accounts, as well as our Ocean of Love Community Group Facebook page, if you'd like to see a daily prayer. And with that, I think we're ready to go. So why don't we sing out with the peace song?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
So let us go into this beautiful day and into this week knowing that the light of God surrounds us. Let's see. I'm the host now, so I've got to unmute everybody. Let me do that.
I got it.
You got it? Thank you. Let's hear everybody's voice as we say the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence
of God watches over us.
Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Amen. God. Thank you for joining us. Take a couple minutes and join us for our Zoom meeting if you'd like.